out in front of the Chinese theater, kind of in keeping with the spirit of the marquees. And in the heyday of Hollywood with the Chinese theater, they used to create exclusive custom marquees, big deals with premieres. And so, hearkening back to that, our attraction marquee, which is going to go in the center section of the Chinese theater, is going to be, like they did from Ben-Hur and all these movies they premiered there, with no exception, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And here comes the best part. It is neon-y and animated. It's really going to be cute. You're going to see it all the way down the end of Hollywood Boulevard. And that's going to draw you down the street to the forecourt of the Chinese Theater, where our adventure begins, our story begins, because we're here today to see Mickey and Minnie's, the premiere of Mickey and Minnie's latest short. But, people ask, why are you putting Mickey and Minnie in the Chinese theater specifically? And it's a good question, but really, there's a lot of history that they both have at the Chinese theater. 1931, Mickey Steps Out premiered at the Chinese theater. A couple of years later, 1933, Mickey's Gala premiere, which not only premiered at the Chinese theater, but it featured the Grauman's Chinese theater with a lot of celebrities from back in the day, including a little cameo by Walt Disney himself. The Chinese Theater serves as the perfect, what better place than the heart of the park to put Mickey and Minnie anyway? But the front door of the Chinese Theater lends itself perfectly that we're here to this attraction story, that we're here to see the premiere of Mickey and Minnie's latest short, which is called Perfect Picnic. And so you'll go into a theater to see the premiere of Perfect Picnic, and the short is all about Mickey and Minnie packing up for the picnic. Nothing's going to get in their way today. They're going to have the greatest picnic ever. And in this first part, kind of the pre-show of the attraction, we're going to introduce guests to your adventure, your fish out of water story in the cartoon world, and also introduce you to the singable, lovable, ever amazing attraction theme song. What happens is during the course of watching the short, something happens before your very eyes. It is very cool. I'm not going to tell you about it. But that allows a portal from the human world into the cartoon world, into which all of the only rules we have is we're following the rules of the shorts, where we're not doing like real theatrical details like real bricks and real shiny surfaces and things like that, because it's hand-drawn. Every square inch of your attraction experience is in the art-directed style of the cartoon shorts.
Okay, so here's an example. So as all of you know, the Walt Disney Company is very rich in its heritage in terms of theatrical techniques and technology. And we are drawing upon all of that. And then we're building upon that foundation with new technology and new techniques to really provide an immersive environment for our guests. And one of our welcome design challenges was the fact that the cartoon shorts has a very 2D flat style, and translating that into a dimensional environment so that we can invite all of our guests into it was a really welcomed design challenge.
So we get to go to the park where Mickey and Minnie are heading for their picnic, Runaway Park, and we're going to hop on board the Runaway Railroad for a great little tour around the park. And our adventure begins when we see the friends, Mickey and Minnie and Goofy all together in the first scene of the attraction. And after that, anything goes. As Sharita said, forget the rules of logic, forget the rules of physics. It's going to be one surprise after another.
Right. So just talking about that design language, it was very important for, as Kevin said, to stay within the rules of the animated shorts. So to give you one example, there are no shiny or reflective surfaces in the cartoon world, yet we are bringing you into that dimensional world. So we took great lengths to make sure that we're hand painting and printing so that we could really, really stay true to that style. And I'm going to give you a quick example of that. So what we have here this is a model. It's about 2 feet of the locomotive. This is an early rendition, but it gives you a great idea of where we're going with this. So we had the model shop put this together, and then what we did was we both painted and printed. And as you can see, there are no shiny reflections or surfaces there. It's all hand done. And in order for us to tell our story, we really need this locomotive to live in both a white light and a dark light world. So we also came up with a special painting technique. So what you're looking at here is how it looks in a white light scene And this is how it looks in a blacklight scene.
It's really stunning. I just love this locomotive. So that's part of the look of it. The sound of it is, the soundscape is a great story unto itself. For the look of it, we reached out to Joseph Holt, who was the original art director for the first series, the first season, couple of seasons, and he's the one that kind of created that off-register, flat, amazing cartoon look. And so he came in as a consultant with us to work on making sure that we're sticking to, the only rules we're sticking to in this attraction are the rules of the design, so that it's all very believable. But one of the things I'm just over the top excited about is the music. I mean, I am a huge fan. I grew up in Disneyland. I love all the attractions with original theme songs. And so I always said that someday I'm going to work on an attraction that has an original theme song that people can't get out of their heads. And it's here. And we went to Chris Willis, who is just the most amazing, most talented. He came up with original scores and adapted kind of the arrangements in all the Mickey shorts, over 100 of them. He did all of that. He's a machine, and what's been so fun about working with Chris is it's kind of like the old days of the Disney studios where the musicians and the animators had to relearn their craft into 3 dimensions and immersive experiences for the theme park world. And Chris is such a huge park fan, like the rest of us, and he jumped on board and he accepted this challenge. And he not only created what we just love, this attraction theme song, but and we're scoring the whole thing like a movie. We use a 65-piece orchestra. We have a 24-voice vocal chorus. It's the soundscape alone is stunning. And the other part of that story, not just the music. The whole thing is a musical, by the way. Not just the music, but the soundscape itself.
That's Kevin right there on the end.
So speaking of the 30th anniversary, this was a couple of years before. It's probably 1986-ish, I'm thinking. But Jimmy McDonald is there on the far right. And Jimmy McDonald became a dear friend, a dear family friend. Next to me there is Joe Harrington. Joe and I have worked on many, many attractions together, including Rock and Roller Coaster, Raiders, Springs Racers. Joe is kind of a good luck charm. He's amazing. He is our sound effects wizard. And so we go back many years. And Jimmy, for those of you, I'm sure all of you know about Jimmy, but Jimmy was the voice of Mickey Mouse for 38 years. When Walt was getting too busy during Fun and Fancy Free, during Mickey and the Beanstalk, Walt called Jimmy into his office and said, Jimmy, I'm just getting too busy to provide the voice for Mickey. Now it's your job. So from Mickey and the Beanstalk all the way through to 1977, Jimmy provided the voice of Mickey. And not only that, he kind of headed up the sound effects department at the studio. Over the years, there we are on a set with Jimmy, Joe, and myself. And he was just the greatest guy. Over his career, from 1934 to 1977-ish, Jimmy actually hand-built and created the sound effects devices out of like wood and steel and hubcaps and you name it to deliver sound. I mean, all of the TV shows and movies I saw growing up, Jimmy did all the sound for. He created over 20,000 effects, and we now kind of lovingly own those and cherish those at Imagineering. And I'm very happy to say that we decided that, in today's day and age with digital everything, and, you can just grab files that you need, and it's very convenient. Because it's Mickey and because we love this so much, we decided to go old school, and we're creating the entire sound effects, all the soundscape, everything that surrounds you in this amazing attraction is done lovingly by hand and by foot and by voice. And many using a lot of Jimmy's original contraptions that we got out of storage, dusted off, and we're using them. It's just, and in honor of Jimmy, I mean, look at his connection to Mickey, not only the voice of Mickey, but provided all the sound effects for all the cartoon shorts over the years. And we've really, really been having a blast with creating that soundscape.
Okay.
So what we have next is one of the things that there's so many surprises in this attraction. There's so much history and heritage back to the Walt Disney Company and the way things used to be done. What you're seeing here is a photograph of one of the original 3 whistles that was used in Steamboat Willie. As you know, the first sound cartoon from 1928. And it's a tritone whistle, and we decided to use that very whistle for the sound of Goofy's locomotive on the train. So,
yeah, I think we can do better.
I think so. I think we have a celebrity in our audience, a little piece of Disney history. This is the whistle, everybody, from 1928, Steamboat Willie.
Let's hear it.
I'm just, so honored to be holding this. And so what's so great about it is, again, this will be the sound of the whistle on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and it sounds something like this. How cool is that? And there's the locomotive there.
So that's just one example of how we're taking this old school, new school, blending it together to create a unique experience for all of the guests.
I have to say, all aboard for one goofy adventure. Again, it's kind of our dream that after you experience this attraction, you're coming back to the unload area. And there's more to see and experience in this attraction than you'll have time for. It's just, it's 10 pounds of showmanship in a 5-pound bag. And so it's kind of our dream when you get back to the unload area that you're going to say, what the heck was that? Let's go ride it again, So it's all about your adventure.
And we're very proud to say also it is a full family attraction. So it'll be fun for everyone.
That's it. And with Goofy as your engineer, what could possibly go wrong? So, thank you, everybody. Back to Phil.
Well done. Well, how about you? There's some great stories there that I hadn't heard yet either. So that was, needless to say, fantastic. Thank you, Kevin and Sharita. So that, as you can see why we're so excited about it, it's definitely going to be something for the whole family. And at the heart of the park, as Kevin mentioned, is exactly where it should be. So the great news here is, we're certainly still moving on with some new and exciting things. So relatively late breaking, I would say we've been working on it for quite a while, but we've got the green light to move ahead with a little bit more fun in Toy Story Land. So again, with the overwhelming success in Andy's Backyard, we're getting the opportunity to bring a fantastic table service restaurant, believe it or not, to Toy Story Land. Yeah, so I'm sure as only Disney could do, we are going to be immersing our guests in this fantastic environment. It's going to be a kaleidoscope of toys, games, play sets, and just experiences like no other. So, we are really looking forward to, again, as Andy can do, and the opportunity, I think, will be to really have our guests immersed again into this fabulous environment, as you can tell from this creative rendering that our guests are going to truly enjoy. The other thing is we are going to celebrate, frankly, and really take advantage of the fantastic opportunity in the Toy Story franchise, Toy Story 4. Hopefully you've had a chance to see the preview. Really exciting to have the opportunity to do a little pop-up shop as a part of this to celebrate not just Toy Story 4, but all things Toy Story. And so we're going to be featuring some of the great things coming out of the movie, and it'll be right at the exit to Toy Story Mania. So again, some great news coming for the Toy Story area, Toy Story Land, and certainly, as you've just seen, whether it be Mickey and Minnie or all of our favorite friends in Pixar, or certainly in the not-too-distant future as we look forward to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, we are certainly, as Walt said for Disneyland, we're never done. As long as there's imagination left, we'll keep creating, and I think this is as good a representation as you'd find. So, again, thank you for joining us. And a big shout-out, thank you to Kevin and Sharita, and we hope you enjoy a fantastic day here at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Thanks.